Hello, it's Camilla Constance here, and I'm continuing my series of videos about how you talk to your children about sex. And today's video, kind of what to include, what's important to communicate and convey to them, and I guess educate them with. My video before, last week's video, was about why this is an important topic for parents to be engaging with. So I'm not going to go over that again. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch last week's video. But this week, I really want to get into the values that I feel are really important for us to convey to our young people to equip them to be sexually healthy adults. And I want to start with talking about how vulnerable sex is, which is part of the reason why we don't talk about it. There's so much human vulnerability involved in sex, and there's so much shame, and there's so much fear, and there's so much anxiety and tension, and we, as the adults in the family, we get stuck in that place, and from our own, because we feel so vulnerable, and because we have this shame or this shutdown or whatever it is, because we're not healthy in our sexuality, we get very uptight and concerned and tense about talking with our kids. So as we heal that within us, it becomes much easier to have these really flowing, easeful, healthy, loving, compassionate, kind conversations with our kids. So what are the values that I feel equip young people to be healthy and conscious in their sexuality as they head out into the adult world? Well, I think I've boiled it down to 4 values that I feel are really important. My first value, if I think about the vulnerability that we all have as adults around our sexuality, is the value of respect. So I kind of hope it goes without saying that if you're getting involved sexually with another human being, you have to be an incredibly respectful person. You have to respect their vulnerability. You have to respect their choice. You have to respect their agency. Oh my goodness, you have to respect their body. You have to respect their pleasure. You have to respect that other person. And you absolutely have to respect yourself. This is where so much trauma happens in sex. I'm thinking particularly maybe of young women who haven't been raised in a healthy way to really respect their bodies, to love and respect and honour and know their bodies. And then they end up in a sexual situation with a sexual partner where, because they don't love and respect themselves, they're not able to articulate what they want. They're not able to articulate, yes, this feels really good, or no, I don't want that. So as we raise our daughters and our sons to love and respect their own bodies, they are able to conduct themselves sexually with another person in a place that commands respect, expects respect. Like, we want our kids as young people to respect other people and to be respected by those other people. That's, abuse happens where there's no respect. The second value that is super important to me is pleasure. And to me, this is really tied with respect. Like, if you understand that sex is always about pleasure, if there isn't pleasure for one or other of the parties involved, then it's not, I guess it's a sexual act, but it's not sex. Sex is an opportunity to connect, to share the most incredible energy together, to experience something really beautiful, for me, often exceedingly divine. It's spiritually enlightening, it's illuminating, it lights my body up, it makes me feel amazing, and it all comes back to pleasure. If I'm not experiencing pleasure, then it isn't sex. If my partner isn't experiencing pleasure, then truly it's not sex. Like, sex is beautiful. And if our young people enter into their sexual years, if they start to experiment and explore their sexuality, always knowing that it comes back to their pleasure, always expecting it to be pleasurable, that's going to go a really long way to making them respectful of themselves and other people. I was absolutely shocked the other day when my daughter told me that girls her age expect sex to be painful. So they are entering into their sexual years expecting pain. They're expecting to endure pain. My question to her was, well, why on earth are they having sex if they expect it to be painful? And the answer it's so dismal. They're doing it to please the boys, to be cool, to fit in. And like, none of that is respectful. None of that is about their pleasure. To me, none of that is really about the glory of human sexuality. It's abusive. It's exploitative. And this is what we want as our parents to help our children steer clear of and stay away from. My third value is kindness. So if you are respectful of your sexual partner, you are going to be kind. It's going to involve, there's going to be kindness involved. The reason why I describe or I specify kindness as separate to respect is that because there is vulnerability involved in sex, your sexual partner is going to have moments when they're feeling scared, they're feeling anxious, maybe they feel embarrassed, maybe they feel some shame. And when you are aware that they might bring these feelings into the experience and you respond from a place of kindness, I mean, I would even add in love, but we kind of compartmentalise love as being a love affair and monogamous and all this kind of stuff, and I don't want to say that. So I'm going to stick with kindness. I'm going to say that when you are kind and compassionate and you can hold yourself and hold your partner in this place of kindness, then whatever happens during sex, it's going to be okay. Both people are going to feel good about it. Both people are going to allow it to be curious. They're going to allow it to be exploratory. They're going to allow it to be an adventure and a discovery. They're going to step away from, I have to achieve a certain thing or you're going to laugh at me. Or I have to be a certain person or you're going to tell all your friends about what a failure I am. Can you imagine the pressure of going into a sexual experience thinking that if you don't do good, you're going to be publicly shamed? Either in the playground or in, I don't know, the town square, the town park, or on social media. But this is the pressure that these kids are under. This is the pressure that they're entering into their sexual years with. So really important for us to instill in them that kindness is one of the most important aspects of sexuality. And my final value is curiosity. We've all fallen into the trap of thinking that sex is a particular process. Like in my day, it was the 4 bases. Like you do this, followed by this, followed by that, and then boom, you get there. And it's become very narrow. It's become very rigid. There's a lot of performance in it. There's a lot of goals in it. Actually, what I say to my young people, and what I invite you to say to your young people, is allow sex to be an exploration. Allow you to be discovering stuff about your body, about your partner's body. Allow for sex to be. I love the way the cats joined in with this. Curiosity killed the cat, but as I say, it made the pussy purr. Curiosity is absolutely where it's at. So the more that young people can allow themselves to be curious and not worry about whether they are achieving something or following the right menu or achieving a certain goal, but they're just allowing themselves to just learn about their bodies and learn about somebody else's body and being curious, always staying curious. So those are my 4 values. It's important that sex is pleasurable for both parties all the time. It's important that both parties are respectful of each other. And then one of the first steps to being respectful is being kind. And that sex remains curious. Sex is curious, it's playful, it's open-ended, it's open-minded. Yes, it's done with kindness, yes, it's done with compassion, and you have no expectations. You just allow it to go where it's going to go. Now, if you want to talk with me about this more, if you want help with framing the conversations, if my videos are stirring up stuff within yourself that you think, oh, actually, I'd like some help in healing this within me, contact me. www.camillaconstance.com and on Facebook as Camilla Constance. I'd love to hear from you. Take care. Bye now.